Iran says a majority consensus has now been reached on the successor to the late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed in US-Israeli strikes at the start of the war last weekend. There's no confirmation on who it is yet, and Israel says it will pursue any successor. Iran's Supreme Leader is selected by the so-called Assembly of Experts, a clerical body with 88 members. Well, we are now into day 9 of the war in Iran. The country's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, now says his promise that neighbouring Gulf states will only be targeted if they attack first has been misconstrued. Well, in fact, Iran has continued to retaliate, firing more drones and rockets into Israel, Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates. At least 2 large fires have been seen in Kuwait, where a tower block was set ablaze. An oil storage facility at the main international airport was also hit. In Bahrain, 3 people have been injured by falling debris from intercepted drones. Inside Iran, meanwhile, in the capital, Tehran has come under more heavy bombardment, including the city's main airport, after Israel said it was launching a new wave of attacks. Late on Saturday, it hit oil depots in and around Tehran. Residents there reported fires spreading to nearby homes and shops. These images show Tehran engulfed in black smoke after the strikes that hit the oil depot and a refinery. With many military targets already destroyed, the US-Israeli campaign does now appear to be widening. Well, President Trump has said there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. This report on the latest developments from our world correspondent, Joe Inwood.
Donald Trump warned that there would be a cost. Yesterday, it came to Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. 6 coffins of the 6 Americans who have died in this war with Iran. Accompanied by the First Lady and Vice President, the President who said he would be a peacemaker. It came as Donald Trump deepened his diplomatic row with the British Prime Minister. Keir Starmer initially refused to cooperate with the strikes on Iran, even preventing the use of British bases. But that position has shifted as the UK and its allies have been dragged in. It emerged this aircraft carrier, the Prince of Wales, was being readied for a possible deployment, which met with a scathing response from the US President. The United Kingdom, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East, wrote the President on social media. That's okay, Prime Minister, we don't need them any longer, but we will remember. We don't need people that join wars after we've already won. And Donald Trump does believe he's winning. For another night, the skies over Tehran have an unnatural orange glow, caused by massive US and Israeli airstrikes. The latest site to be hit, an oil refinery to the south of the capital. One Tehran resident told the BBC it was as if night had turned into day. Donald Trump had hoped this overwhelming firepower would force Iran to an unconditional surrender. In a recorded message, Iran's president said that would never happen, but he did apologize to his Gulf neighbors for attacks on their territory. It came as the president of the UAE visited people injured in strikes.
The
Gulf states have been shocked and angered by what has happened. He said people should not be misled by the appearance of his country, and that the UAE would not be easy prey. But it is in Iran and Lebanon where the human cost is highest. This was the southern Lebanese town of Mifadun in the aftermath of an Israeli operation. Israel has carried out more airstrikes against the militant group Hezbollah, although civilians are also being killed.
The death toll is not final, but there are 5 martyrs, and the number could increase because the scale of destruction is big, and we're still searching for more people.
This war has already brought terrible damage to parts of the Middle East, claiming lives, shaking economies, and further fracturing already troubled relationships.